Hey everybody, it's Pam with Silver and Sparkles, and we're going to make a little skinny mini journal today. Look how little it is. I am really excited to show you guys this design. So I did put a ribbon closure, and it has this little tiny spine, and watch what it does when it opens up. So basically, I don't know how to explain it. There's two halves, and then they open like this. Isn't that cute? And then I did a journaling spot and some more vintage hymnal sheet music or vintage music. And then the same thing here. And again, you can decorate these however you want and get more embellished on the inside, but I just love this design. I was just playing with folding a piece of paper and came up with it today. So we're going to make one. I think the size is adorable. And please excuse my inky fingers, my bruise. I had to have an MRI this week. Everything's fine. And that's where they put that dye stuff in. So I bruise easily. Okay. Let me show you what I'm using. So you can use any papers that make you happy, but I do have a new digital up in on my Patreon, and I will make sure my Patreon is linked. There's different membership options, but the digital only is $3 a month, and I try to under promise and over deliver. So my goal is at 2 digitals a month that are one page digitals. It's a small, a small little digital that you'll get, but most of them lately have been more than one page, and this one is as well. It is tiny tags, and they're sort of like a quilt design and maybe little country, but fall pretty colors. And these I embellished a little bit, and these I left without maybe an extra layer on them, just so that you can add your own words, your own images, stickers, whatever. I think they're adorable. All of my membership options on Patreon, you get the digitals if you're a paid member. So it starts at that $3 just for digitals, and then on up if you want some happy mail. So anyway, go check that out if you haven't already. But again, make yours with any paper you want. And this is made with a piece of 8.5 by 11. This one I used just a piece of cardstock I had that was this color. I don't have any more of it. And so I am going to make this one with just a piece of paper I printed. This is from one of my kits, and I can't remember. I think it's one of my Christmas ones, believe it or not, from last year. But I just printed on both sides, and that's what we're going to start with. So the first thing you want to do is get an 8.5 piece of paper. It can be scrapbook paper you cut to that size. It can be a digital. It can be a piece of cardstock. You could use a piece of craft cardstock, whatever you want, depending on what you're going to be decorating with. And the first thing we're going to do on the 11-inch side is we are going to trim it to 5.5, basically just cutting it in half. There you go. All right, and that's all the cutting with that we're going to use. Now, I will put the measurements, including the scoring, in the description of the video for you guys, but we are going to score both of these pieces, and we're going to score them the same way. So we'll do one, and then we'll do the other. So on the, let's see, on this 8.5-inch side, we are going to score at 2, 4, 6, and 8. All right. And then, then we're going to turn it and we're going to score on the 5.5-inch side at 1.5. All right. And we're going to do this for both pieces. So on the 8.5-inch side, score at 2, 4, 6, and 8, and then turn it and score at 1.5 inches. All right, and that's all the scoring. Okay, so both pieces are scored the same. I am going to fold on my score lines, And then I'm going to ink because I'm going to be doing a little bit of cutting and folding, and I want you to be able to see these score lines. So while I am folding my paper and adding some ink, if you're crafting along with me, you can do the same. I'm going to just chat a little bit and get my paper ready. So welcome. I am so glad you guys are here. I appreciate you taking a few minutes out of your day to join me. I hope you like this idea and are enjoying the content I'm creating. If you're one of my regulars, thank you. You guys are awesome. I'm so glad you're here. And if you're new to my channel, welcome. I hope you'll have fun and come back lots. Consider subscribing. Everyone, if you can just take a moment, I always ask, but it does make a big difference to hit that thumbs up and drop me a comment. Tell me how you are. Tell me what you think of the project. The only rules are to please be nice. If you have ideas or suggestions, that's awesome. I love those. It's just we don't want to be rude. And most of you are just wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Okay, so quite a few things coming up in my little sparkle world. So I'm going to be going live, and I'm hoping it's a wee thing, and you guys are going to join me starting this Wednesday, which is October 15th, and we're going to be going live at 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, 1 p.m., not 1 in the morning. I'm clarifying for you night owls. And I've got them scheduled right now until about the middle of November. I'm sure I'll probably take a break. I'm taking a break one Wednesday because I'm going to be out of town. Maybe I'll do a live from, I'm going to tell you more about that later, but maybe I will. We'll see. But around Thanksgiving and things. But we'll see how it goes and if you guys like it. And I'm going to be hopefully adding some live sales and just different things that have been requested recently. So I'm getting excited. I hope you will mark your calendar and join me. If you're following me, you should be able to be notified when it's starting and get reminders, but see all the ones that are scheduled. If you have questions about any of that, let me know. And I think it's going to be fun. So, okay. Let's see how I'm doing. I'm getting close, and I love to ink my projects. As if you guys know me at all, you know I do. And but inking is optional. When I'm on camera, I try to remember to ink, unless it's a big time constraint because it's like my 15-minute craft challenge or something. Sometimes I'll skip it, but I want you guys to be able to see what I'm doing. So. Now, I also have to decide if I want the neutral, like the neutral side or the green side to the outside, which is something I didn't have to worry about with my other one. Okay, the first thing we're going to do, let's see. I think I'm going to do one this way and one this way. Okay, the first thing we're going to do, though, is we are going to cut out these little bottom corners on both pages. And depending on how I chose to lay them in my scoreboard may impact my options for how I put them together. Because we're basically going to glue this tab and this tab together here in a few minutes. Don't do it yet if you're crafting with me. And obviously it won't work to have like both green sides or both tan sides because I wasn't thinking about it. That'll make sense here in just a minute. But okay. We're just going to see what happens. I am going to cut out the scores. Now, on my prototype, I wanted an extra journaling spot. So one of these, I also didn't add the pocket. So we'll do that again, just so that we get a little bit of extra journaling. So on this one, I cut out that little bottom rectangle, and I'm going to cut out the larger one on the bottom on the left-hand side. I don't know if that makes sense, but here we go, and you'll see it, okay? That one and that one. This one I'm going to leave the way it is. But on each of these, I am going to just cut as the tiniest sliver that I can. I don't want to take too much of my real estate for my pocket, but I want to get the bulk so that when I'm folding this up, it folds a little bit more neatly. So I hope you can see that's what I mean by a tiny sliver. All right, because I really want the pockets to, I mean, they're narrow little pockets, but to be as wide as possible. And I'm going to do that same little slivered trim on this one. And then we'll be ready to start gluing. I will also probably ink the edges of these pockets one more time. Okay, little tiny slivers. Ooh, and I guess this is optional. I really didn't try it. The cardstock I was using on my prototype, this, I don't know, kind of tealy color, was quite thick, and it had a white core. And so you can see it's cracking some, which is not making me happy. So I think I'm going to be much happier with this paper. We'll see. We'll see what happens. All right. So we've got to now turn it this way. Let's get just a touch of ink on these edges that I just trimmed up, because you really can see the white. And I know that's me being super, super, super picky, but I'm going to do it anyway really quick. Oh, that's easier. I'll hold them together and then you can get them. Okay, now you want to lay your two pieces out where you can glue these two tabs together. And that's literally all we're going to do. And this is going to build that little spine. All right. Gosh. Okay. So I'm just going to use my regular PVA glue. This is kind of my everyday glue. You could use a piece of two-sided tape or whatever glue that you like. I like this in the little bottles. I put it in the little bottles. It doesn't come in the little bottles. All right. And that, my friends, is how our little skinny mini journal is going to be held together. Okay. Now, I want to glue all of my pockets closed. And they're going to be like this. And if you don't want a pocket on each page, you could cut that off. I'm going to make this one crazy full of pockets like I did the prototype, except for this one flap here. And I'm trying to be neat with my glue and get it just on each edge of these flaps. The more it comes in, the more narrow the opening will be for anything I want to slide in there. Okay. All right, and we're gonna do the same thing with these four flaps, and then I'm gonna show you, it's easy, but how to fold it up. You can see I kind of went over more when I was trimming that one. I was trying to do tiny slivers and tiny little bits of glue here. Da-da-da. Now, like I said, make this with any paper you have. You could then decorate it with book page, with some of your scraps. If you have a paper kit or a theme, you know, that you've been working on, this would be cute for that. If you wanted to give someone a gift of some little tiny tags, right? You could definitely fill it with some fun goodies. Okay. This ends up being like an accordion fold. And I have to remember which way. Okay, the right hand side, I think this is the right way. We're going to fold in and then back and then in. And then the left hand side, we're going to fold in, back, and then in. So when you know, first open it up, you have 2 pages that don't, you know, have pockets, and then you're going to close it. Look at that. Is that not the cutest little thing? And then when you open it up, you can look at this page, you know, like this. But then when you get to here, you just open it up, and what a great little ephemera holder and a little tiny skinny mini journal. Now, the cardstock I used on my prototype, this is just 90-pound white Neenah cardstock. I think it's thick, plenty thick. This one, though, is a lot sturdier. The cardstock was thicker, and the spine is really, it's not going to crush. I mean, I'm pushing on it. This one is a little less firm. So one option we have would be to cut, you know, an additional piece of cardstock that measures, you know, you'd have to go just a touch under 1/2 inch by just a touch under 4 inches and just glue it in there. I don't have a piece prepared for that, so I'm not going to worry about doing it, but I did just want to mention that if you feel yours needs to be a little sturdier, I'm okay with it. All right. Now, decorating is completely whatever, you know, whatever we feel like. I've cut out a bunch of the little pieces from that new, the tiny tags I have up on Patreon. So I'm going to pick something for the front. I did one of these hearts that kind of coordinated with the color of the paper that I chose. Wondering. I'm just trying to think, you know, if I want more of a contrast or if I want to stay, you know, in this blue family. I even have this little piece where I cut the pocket off from here that I might use. Or I could do this. You know what might be fun? This is a different heart. I'm going to cut this heart out. And do something just a touch different on this one. Okay, so I just cut the heart out. And on all these little tiny tags, if you like some of the images or the words, you know, you can fussy cut them out. I'm going to pop this heart up with a little pop dot here in a minute. Okay, so first, I think I like the idea of putting some of my hymnal music. And these are just some random pages I got at a vintage shop here in Virginia. And they sold just a few pieces, and I bought them. Okay, so I don't have the whole hymnal. All right, so here we go. I'm going to add a little bit of ink, and I'm using walnut stain, kind of the one I tend to use most days. And I used my little journal to help me determine what size I needed to tear the paper to fit. I'm going to open that up so that it's a little easier for me to press down. All right, now you want to be careful. You don't want to just glue this on yet. Because we're going to attach a ribbon for a closure, and you don't want to glue it and not be able to attach your ribbon. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that, and then I'll decorate some of those pockets and tuck a few things inside. Okay, so set my heart aside. This is what is going to hold the ribbon down on. And I'm using some of my Sari silk ribbons. That's the color I used on the prototype. Let's see what else I have. I have lots of these kind of neutral brown colors, and I don't know what's left in my shop. They've been selling really well. So there may not, some of the combinations may not still be available, but I will, of course, do my best to add more as I go. It's all about time, my friends. But I love it, and I'm glad you guys enjoy crafting with it too. I appreciate your support of my Etsy shop. But I will, I've figured out how to tag products and videos and stuff, and I also will keep putting things as links in the description as well. But I will see what Sari Silk I have and tag at least one of the sets for y'all. Okay, so I'm just tying that to make sure I have my ribbon cut to about the length that I want it. So let me undo it, and I will tell y'all how long this is. If I kind of stretch it out, like stretch, it's 19 inches. If I leave it kind of crinkly, I don't know, it's about maybe 14. All right, so let me lay it back down. So this is going to be attached here, and then it has to wrap around the spine and over the back. So the way I make sure my bow is going to be able to be tied pretty is I lay it on here and get the ends sort of matched up. And I decide where I want it. I'm going to want it to be about right here. And I'm just going to use a piece of two-sided tape. And I'm going to lay it down. Whoops. And it lifted up. Of course it did, right? It'll be okay. We're going to have another layer on here too. All right, the Sari Silk. This is not Sari Silk. This is seam binding. If I've been saying Sari Silk, forgive me. Seam binding, seam binding, seam binding. I was talking to Amy, who's on my design team, the other day, and she said she was doing that too. She was calling seam binding Sari Silk or Sari Silk seam binding. Oh my gosh. Okay. It's so easy to misspeak, especially when you're on camera, and I am focused, and I am, trying to chat and also craft. It's so easy to do. Okay, another piece of two-sided tape, just to make sure everything sticks really nicely. Now I'm going to glue down the square that I picked out. And now I'm going to do that, and then I want this to pop up, so I'm going to use some of these, like from my scrapbooking days. You can still get these, like, I'm sure some of the places like Michael's and Hobby Lobby sell them. You can get them on Amazon, so just some pop dots. Did I need 3? I don't know, but that's what my gut told me to do. So we are doing 3. I probably could have put 1 right in the middle and it would have been fine. This isn't a very large item. There we go. I just wanted a little bit of dimension, and I think that is just too cute. Love it. Okay. And again, now it's just really, what makes you happy. I'm going to open mine up like this. Now this already is perfect for a journaling spot, so I'm not feeling like I have to layer a neutral paper, but I may put something at the top, like one of my little flags. Here's the ones that I put words on. I also have in the kit the blank ones: Handmade Memories, Stitched with Love, and Cozy Days. I think I'm going to cut out Cozy Days, and I may even, I left it so you could put a little eyelet and a ribbon, or make add it to a dangle or something. I'm thinking I was thinking I may cut it off, like, just because I'm not going to do that right now. So I'll do that. I'm just going to cut it off. You have both options, right? There we go. And now it looks like just a little flag. All right. And I am thinking that's going to be for some writing space. Now, what I did with my prototype is I just went through and selected some of the pieces. Some, you know, have a heart or a star or something on them. Some are the plain ones. Let's just see what I have. Here's a star, like a star. And maybe I'll put the star down here. Anyway, I just got them where I wanted them. I got them where I wanted them. I put them where I wanted them, and then inked, which we'll do, even the ones that are sort of not just the squares, but the shapes like this, they fit. Let's do that. And then I pulled out my doodad, one of my doodad folders for the ones that didn't have something. And I think I picked a butterfly and some flowers. So let's see if I have anything, excuse me, that I want to use that's about the right size and kind of coordinates. I may have pulled everything from this one that I liked, right? Oh, wait, that's cute. Okay, so we'll put that circle there. Would this one work here? I think it will. We'll go with 2 circles that have some flowers. And just because I wanted each pocket to have something on it. So let me get these inked up, and then we'll glue them down real quick. Fun. And you could add words, quotes, scripture. I mean, again, I try to talk y'all through possibilities that enter my mind, but honestly, the decorating part for me is so fun, and y'all have given me feedback that you like to see me decorate. And I usually do. I used to show you a prototype and then kind of how to construct it, and would usually kind of stop because I thought that was what everyone was most interested in, and you had the prototype to look back on for decorating ideas. But then, you know, we got a lot of feedback. No, we like to see you decorate too. And it's helpful, I guess, to see how I select things or actually glue them down, that kind of thing. So I try to now. I don't always, but I would say most of the time. But remember, yours does not have to look just like mine, even if you choose to use, you know, the same papers or similar papers. But you're also welcome, if it helps get you started, to use my ideas, right? That's why I have the videos. Okay, so I'm going to be careful where I put the glue on each of these because I don't want to cover up the pocket. So, you know, I'm just going to position them on here to give each of the pockets a decoration. And on the other paper I used, I really felt like I needed it. It was just, you know, it was colored. It wasn't white, but a plain cardstock. And I really wanted it to, you know, to break it up and to give it some interest, but I just love it. I think it's cute. It reminds me kind of a country quilt kitchen or some kind of, I don't know if it's even kitchen is the right word, but pattern, maybe from the 80s. I'm showing my age. Maybe that's why I like it so much, right? You guys will have to tell me what you think. Oh, so cute, so cute. Almost done gluing these down, and then of course we can decide what we want to put in the pockets. And a lot of the things from this little 2-pager will fit in here. Some you have to trim down because these pockets are quite skinny. But again, you're not limited to just things from this 2-page, you know, for your pockets. But again, some of the little tags are going to fit wonderfully in here. All right. Some are too wide. And if you want to use those, of course, we can. I didn't close that one up. I did not. You know, we can trim them down. So it's a good thing for me to see. Did I accidentally get them glue them closed. All right, so this one, I know I have to make quite skinny for it to fit. And I did it for the prototype, so I just decided to chop one of these up. I love this tag, but for this particular project, it's too chunky. So, and again, I haven't inked everything, but we'll just put a few little treasures in as I find them or pick them up. And again, I could go back to my doodad folder and pick different things, but just to get that going. Now, again, I think these are great journaling spots. I could add, like I did here, some more hymnal, but I think I am going to leave those for journaling. But what I may do is, like I said, put a little topper to allude to that. You guys know how I love to do that. For some reason, it just makes me think of like a little piece from a pad of paper, and someone might start writing. I could put the words to do. No, we don't need a to-do list in our mini journal probably, but you could use it like that. Like, why not, right? It could be maybe you're getting ready for the holidays or an event, and you could write down things you need to do, whether it's, you know, if you're going to be baking or sending out Christmas cards or doing invitations, something like that. And then you could write down like who attended, and you could write down memories from the event, or add little tiny pictures. So many different things you could do. So it could incorporate your pre-planning and then share how it went. Little tiny journals, and that you can look back on and enjoy. Okay, I think I have, what do I have? One more to do? Two more? Let's see. I kind of like this. Yep, two more. And I stayed with this color. And I guess I didn't use many of these in the prototype, this color, because I have extras. I cut out both pages while I was playing, and then I did the same. I cut out two more pages. One that has the words and one that didn't, you know, or the extra embellishments with the hearts and stars. So I guess these were left from the or some of them were left from the prototype, because there weren't that many. I don't think. We could look at the sheet again and see. Yeah, well, you got two that they're almost the same. They're a little different. And then I cut them out twice. So yeah, four of them. Okay. Oh, how cute is that? I love how it folds up and closes. I hope you guys do too. Like I said, I was just having fun folding paper, and I liked the 2-inch width, and I was about to cut the paper instead of leave it at 8.5 inches, just to 8 inches, you know, and score it 246. And then I thought, wait, if I leave a little hinge, maybe we'll have a little spine. Oh my goodness, how adorable. How adorable is that? Please tell me what you think if you're thinking this is like just too adorable as well. And subscribe, hit the thumbs up button, join me Wednesday for the live. I'll have more videos coming out, of course, before then, and I'm sure I'll be reminding you guys about it some more, because I really want you to join me if you can. I know the time won't work for everyone, but thank you for watching. Have a great time. Hope you get to craft some today, and I'll see you soon. Thanks, everybody.